It is not enough to conquer wisdom. It is necessary to use it.
Direct confrontation is a fool's game. It's loud, messy, and you're just handing your enemy a script they already know by heart. You've been taught your whole life to be direct, to be honest, to meet conflict head-on. But what if those rules are precisely why you keep losing? Imagine for a second that you could wield the same secret mind games a 15th century prince used to control his court and absolutely destroy his rivals. You've felt it before, the sting of being underestimated, the quiet rage of being outmaneuvered by someone less skilled but more cunning. You've watched people with half your talent get ahead, while you were busy playing by rules they just ignore. You're left wondering, what did I do wrong? The truth is, you did nothing wrong. You simply played the wrong game. In the real world of power, the biggest battles aren't fought with raised voices. They're fought in the silence between words, in the careful management of what people think, and in the calculated withdrawal of your emotions. The true master of power doesn't need to shout. Their silence is louder than any threat. They don't need to attack. Their unpredictability dismantles their enemies from the inside out. This is the world of Niccolò Machiavelli. Now, he wasn't a psychologist. The term dark psychology is a modern label. He was a Renaissance diplomat, a philosopher, and a student of raw, unfiltered power. In his famous book, The Prince, he didn't write about what power should be. He wrote the owner's manual for how it actually works. He saw that people are often ungrateful, fickle, and driven by their own self-interest. To survive in that landscape, he argued, a leader has to understand the hidden mechanics of human nature. Today, we're going to reinterpret his cold-blooded strategies for the modern world. These aren't tools for tyrants, but strategies for survival in the psychological warfare of everyday life. The office, your social circle, even your own family will distill his ruthless observations into 7 dark psychology tricks. By the end of this, you'll understand how to use them, not to become a monster, but to make sure you're never again the victim of one. Let's begin. Trick 1. Deny them emotional access. The first and most important layer of Machiavellian defense is to deny your enemy access to your emotions. This is the foundation for everything else. A provocation is a test. It's a key someone is inserting into a lock. Your enemy is testing you, searching for the emotional keyhole. Your anger, your frustration, your insecurity that will give them control. The moment they find it, they can turn that key, unlock your mind, and steer your behavior. Think of your mind as a strategic fortress. Your emotions are the treasure inside. To leave the gates unguarded is to invite plunder. When a rival at work makes a passive-aggressive comment in a meeting, they aren't just speaking words. They're knocking on your gate. They're hoping for a flash of anger in your eyes or a defensive reply. The moment you give them that reaction, you've lost. You've just confirmed their words have power over you and handed them a map to your vulnerabilities. Machiavelli understood that emotional people are predictable people, and predictable people are easily conquered. The person who remains calm, whose face is a mask in the face of an insult, becomes a psychological black hole. The enemy's bait, their venom, it all gets pulled in, but nothing comes out. This is incredibly unnerving for them. They expected a fight. When they get nothing, they're left with only the awkward echo of their own aggression. Now, this isn't about suppressing emotion. That's like holding a beach ball underwater. It'll eventually burst to the surface with even more force. This is about detachment. It's the conscious choice to observe your own emotional response like a scientist. You see the anger, you feel the sting, but you don't act on it. In the space between their action and your reaction, that's where your power lies. Consider a frenemy who makes backhanded compliments. Wow, you got the promotion. It's amazing what a little luck can do. The emotional response is to get defensive. It wasn't luck. I worked hard for it. But that's a trap. You're now playing their game, justifying yourself as if their opinion matters. The Machiavellian response? Deny them access. Offer a calm, neutral smile. You might just say, "Thank you," and change the subject. Or, even more powerfully, hold their gaze for a second. Let the silence hang. Give a slight, unreadable nod, and turn your attention elsewhere. You've given them nothing. Their poisoned arrow just fell to the ground. They are left feeling exposed. They took their shot, and it vanished into a void. Trick 2. The power of no reply. The second trick is an escalation of the first. After a confrontation, there's no reply. After an accusation, there's no clarification. After a dramatic text message, there is only silence. Our instinct is to explain ourselves. We think if we can just make the other person understand our perspective, the conflict will be resolved. This is a complete misunderstanding of what's happening. In most conflicts, the person attacking you isn't interested in understanding. They're interested in engagement. They want your energy. They feed on your attempts to justify yourself because it puts them in the position of judge. When you refuse to reply, you starve them of this psychological oxygen. An unanswered accusation doesn't hang in the air as an admission of guilt, like we fear. Instead, it turns a spotlight back on the accuser. The silence becomes a mirror. Why are they so desperate for a response? The absence of your defense forces everyone, including the accuser, to scrutinize the attack itself more closely. Think about social media. An acquaintance posts a vague, passive-aggressive status that's clearly about you. The bait is set. The immediate impulse is to jump into the comments and defend yourself. But that's exactly what they want. It validates their post and creates a public spectacle. The Machiavellian strategist does nothing. They see the post and just keep scrolling. They don't block, they don't delete. They simply refuse to acknowledge the provocation. The effect is devastating. The accuser is left alone on their stage. Their aggression, left unanswered, starts to look unhinged and desperate. Your silence is a quiet, powerful statement that you are above the game. This was a strategy used by powerful leaders throughout history. A lion doesn't concern itself with the opinion of sheep. By refusing to engage, you implicitly communicate that you and your accuser are not on the same level. This has to be done with precision. This isn't ghosting. It's a specific tactic for unwarranted aggression and emotional bait. When someone attacks you in bad faith, your justification is a gift they haven't earned. Imagine a coworker sends a group email blaming you for a project's delay, copying your boss. Your instinct is to reply all, with a novel proving your innocence. But this just creates a digital dogfight and makes you look defensive. The superior strategy is to let the email sit. Don't reply to the group. Instead, privately forward it to your boss with a simple, detached note. Just flagging this. I have all the documentation on the timeline if you'd like to see it. Happy to discuss in our one-on-one. You refused the public fight, showed your boss you're calm and organized, and demonstrated confidence that the facts are on your side. They tried to set a fire, and you simply declined to provide the fuel. Trick 3. Use silence as a mirror. The third trick is using silence not just as a defense, but as a weapon. You have to learn to use silence as a mirror. When you withhold your words and opinions, you create a void. And human nature hates a vacuum. The other person will feel an overwhelming compulsion to fill that void. In their rush to do so, they will reveal everything. This is one of the most powerful tools in any negotiation. Most people talk too much because they're uncomfortable with pauses. A Machiavellian thinker sees silence as an opportunity. It's a stage you prepare for your opponent to perform on, where they unwittingly expose their deepest insecurities and true motives. Imagine you're in a negotiation and a client makes a lowball offer. The amateur immediately counters or starts justifying their price. The master stays silent. They look at the client with calm, unwavering eye contact, maybe with a slightly patient expression. They say nothing. In these few seconds, the client's mind starts racing. Did I offend them? Was that too low? Are they going to walk away? They look so confident. They must have other options. In their panic to fill the silence, they start negotiating against themselves. Well, there might be some flexibility in that number, they stammer. You just won the round without saying a single word. This goes far beyond business. In a personal conflict, when someone is accusing you of something, just let them talk. Don't interrupt. When they finish, stay silent for just a beat longer than is comfortable. This silence non-verbally communicates, is that all you've got? Often, they'll keep talking, and as they do, their story will start to change. They'll contradict themselves. They might start with, "You're always late." But after being met with your silence, they might reveal the real issue. "It just feels like you don't respect my time." There it is, the true wound. By using silence, you allowed them to hand you the map to their own psyche. Your silence becomes a polished mirror. When your enemies look at you, they don't see you. They see a reflection of their own agitation and their own insecurity. A toxic coworker might say, "Some people aren't pulling their weight on this project," while looking at you. You just hold their gaze, silent and calm. Your silence dares them. Are you talking about me? If so, say it. They almost never will. The accusation was designed as a cowardly, indirect jab, and your silence calls their bluff. Trick 4. Never fight on their emotional terms. The fourth law is to refuse to fight a battle on the ground your enemy has chosen. Specifically, you must never fight on emotional terms. Emotion is the home turf of the manipulator. It's a chaotic battlefield where logic dies and reaction is king. Letting yourself get dragged into an emotional fight is willingly walking into an ambush. Your enemies, especially those without logical arguments, will almost always try to make the conflict emotional. They use guilt, anger, or pity to hijack the situation. They know that if they can get you to feel, they can get you to stop thinking. A classic example is the guilt trip. "After everything I've done for you, you can't do this one small thing for me?" This isn't a logical request, it's an emotional bomb. The emotional response is to give in. The strategic response is to detach from the emotional frame and recenter the conversation on logic. You don't engage with the accusation of ingratitude. Instead, you calmly address the request itself. "I understand this is important to you, but I'm not able to do that right now." You acknowledge their emotional play but refuse to play along. You drag the conflict back onto the terrain of reason, where you have the advantage. Another common emotional battlefield is anger. When someone raises their voice, They want to intimidate you, and they want to provoke your own anger, to create a screaming match where everyone looks foolish. The master strategist does the opposite. As their volume goes up, yours goes down. You get calmer. Your voice gets softer. This has an incredibly disorienting effect. It short-circuits their strategy. Your calm makes their chaos look unhinged. Plus, they're forced to quiet down just to hear what you're saying. You are subtly forcing them to de-escalate. Think of an argument with a partner. One person screams, "You never listen to me." The emotional response is to shout back, "Yes, I do." The strategic response is to let their shout fade. Then, in a quiet voice, say, "Your voice is raised. I can't have a productive conversation like this. When you're ready to speak to me calmly, I'm here to listen." You're not arguing the point. You're refusing to fight on the battlefield of anger and setting the terms of engagement. Logic and calm. Machiavelli wrote that a leader must be both a lion and a fox. The lion is strength, but the fox recognizes traps. Fighting on emotional terms is walking right into a trap. The fox sidesteps it and forces the fight onto the open field of reason, where emotional tactics are useless. Trick 5. Become strategically unreadable. The fifth trick is the art of being unreadable. Your enemies are always trying to figure you out. They study your patterns and habits to build a mental model of who you are, which allows them to predict your behavior. Your goal is to corrupt that model. You must appear simple on the surface, but be impossible to predict when it counts. Most people are creatures of habit. They react the same way to the same things every time, which makes them easy targets. If your rival knows that mentioning a past failure always makes you defensive, they have a button they can press anytime they want to destabilize you. To become unreadable, you have to consciously introduce variance into your behavior. This isn't about being chaotic, it's about calculated unpredictability. For a few weeks, be warm and engaging in meetings. Share your opinions. Let your colleagues build a model of you as the open collaborator. Then, for the next few weeks, become quiet and observant. Say little. This subtle shift will create confusion. What changed? Is he upset? Is he planning something? This confusion is a form of power. When people can't read you, they become cautious. They have to expend mental energy trying to figure you out, which is energy they can't use to plot against you. Machiavelli admired this quality in the warlord Cesare Borgia. When some of Borgia's most trusted captains conspired against him, they thought they had him figured out. Borgia, learning of the plot, didn't fly into a rage. Instead, he played the part they expected. He sent messages of reconciliation and invited them to a reconciliation dinner. Believing they had outsmarted him, the captains came willingly. Once they were inside, the doors were locked, and Borgia's men dealt with them. He had used their predictions against them to lead them into the ultimate trap. In a modern context, this means occasionally breaking your patterns. If you're known for always replying to emails in minutes, let an important one from a rival sit for a day. The delay, so out of character, will create a ripple of uncertainty. If you're known for being agreeable, suddenly become firm on a minor point in a negotiation. This unpredictability signals that your patterns can't be taken for granted and suggests a strategic mind at work. Let people put you in their little boxes. Your power lies in your ability to step out of that box at any moment, leaving them bewildered. Trick 6. Master the art of timing and delay. Power isn't just about what you do, but when you do it. The sixth trick is mastering timing and delay. In a world that loves speed, The ability to control the tempo of an interaction is a formidable weapon. Haste forces mistakes. Patience exposes weakness. The person who controls the clock controls the game. Most people operate on an emotional timeline. When they're attacked, they respond immediately. The master of timing detaches from this urgency. Every pause, every delay is a calculated move. Consider a negotiation where the other party says, "This offer is only on the table for 24 hours." This is a classic tactic to create urgency. The emotional response is to feel pressured and rush a decision. The strategist recognizes this as an attempt to control the tempo. They might respond by saying, "Thank you, I'll give it the consideration it deserves." And then they deliberately wait. This calculated delay communicates that you are not desperate. It seizes control of the timeline. And most importantly, it creates immense psychological pressure on the other party. As the hours tick by, they'll start to doubt themselves. Are they going to accept? Do they have a better offer? By the time you respond, you are in a position of enhanced strength. This works in personal conflict too. Someone sends you an angry, multi-paragraph text. They're waiting for those 3 little dots to show you're typing. The strategic move is to deny them that. Read the message, absorb it, and then put your phone down. Respond hours later or even the next day with something calm and concise. "I've read your message. This is too complex to resolve over text. I'm available to talk on the phone tomorrow afternoon." You just refused to have a text battle and re-established control. You dictated the medium and the time. You moved from a reactive position to a commanding one. Let others exhaust themselves in their own haste. Your patience is both a shield and a weapon. Trick 7. Win the war without being seen. The final and most sophisticated trick is to win the war without ever being seen on the battlefield. This is the art of indirect action. The greatest victories aren't won through open confrontation, but by getting your enemy to dismantle themselves, often without them even realizing you were the architect. A direct attack creates a clear enemy and allows them to play the victim. The ultimate power is achieving your goals while maintaining plausible deniability, leaving your opponents confused and fighting shadows. One of the most powerful indirect actions is the sudden withdrawal of your attention. Consider a social parasite, someone who constantly relies on your expertise or support without offering anything in return. The conventional approach is a direct confrontation, which leads to a messy argument. The Machiavellian approach is far more subtle. You simply become less available. Your responses to their texts get slower. You're always busy when they ask for a favor. There's no grand announcement. You simply, quietly, turn off the tap. The effect is profound. They're faced with a void. They'll replay interactions, searching for a reason. Your absence forces them into a state of insecurity. They can't paint you as the villain because you haven't done anything. You've simply not. Deprived of the resource they were exploiting, they're forced to wither away. You won without a single fight. This can also be used to undermine a rival. Imagine a toxic coworker who thrives on gossip. Instead of confronting them, you use indirect action. You subtly praise the work of their rivals in front of influential people. You strategically share information that helps others succeed, bypassing the toxic person entirely. You create new alliances that make the gossiper irrelevant. You're not attacking them. You are simply making them obsolete. Their power slowly erodes without a single direct attack they can point to. They've been defeated not by a sword, but by a shift in the landscape that you quietly engineered. This is about understanding that direct force is the crudest tool. The real art is changing the environment, so the outcome you desire becomes inevitable. You don't need to push the boulder off the cliff. You just need to subtly change the angle of the ground so that it rolls off on its own. You've just been given a glimpse behind the curtain into the mechanics of power that have governed human interaction for centuries. These 7 principles are a toolbox for navigating the psychological warfare of the modern world. If you're ready to embrace the art of ruthless strategy, subscribe to this channel. We'll keep exploring the hidden dynamics of power, influence, and human nature. Click the notification bell so you don't miss the next lesson. And while you wait, check out our video on the art of crushing haters without confrontation to further sharpen your psychological blade. The link is in the description. Machiavelli's philosophy is often feared because it's misunderstood. It's not a call to become a heartless tyrant. It's a recognition that the world isn't always fair. To pretend otherwise is to leave yourself vulnerable to those who won't hesitate to use your good nature against you. The 7 tricks we've discussed are not about aggression. They are about control. Control over yourself, control over perceptions, and control over the dynamics of any conflict. Power isn't about being the loudest person in the room. It's about being the calmest. It's not about winning every argument. It's about achieving your long-term goals, often in silence. It's about understanding that true strength lies not in your ability to attack, but in your ability to become invulnerable to the attacks of others. Use this knowledge not to harm, but to protect. Use it to shield your peace of mind and to outwit those who seek to undermine you. Use it to ensure that you are the master of your own fate, not a pawn in someone else's game. In the end, power belongs to the calm, the patient, and the strategic.